Alright guys, here's the plan for today. Since Carb's not going to be here till Tuesday, abandoned, got it all covered up in there, and I got this thing rolling around in here so I can just close down for tonight, whatever. I'm itching to get this wood in, or done, figured out, whatever. It's been on my mind since I got the truck. So we got the cedar here. I know what a bunch of you are going to say, oh, cedar's not great for that because it's soft, whatever. I don't care. Cedar holds up good to elements. I know this because I am a woodworker, and it looks awesome, and this bed's not ever going to get used, so I want it to look cool. So I got all the bolts cut out, all these cross members except that front one. It's permanent. These ones are just sitting here. I'm going to get all these boards cut to length, figure out what ends need cut off, because like there's some knot holes and stuff like this I would like to get rid of. Then I'm going to get them all set in, and I believe I can just set them all in, get all the on, and see that I'm good. And then I'm going to go in the fender and just trace the fender on that board and that board, and then I'll pull them out, jigsaw them, and then triple, quadruple check, and then I'll pull them out, get them all sanded up good. I'm going to put this wire brush side down. I'm not a huge fan of that stuff, and this side's way cooler looking. So I got a kind of darker reddish stain that's really probably going to make that pop, so it'll look pretty good, I think. But that's the plan. Alright, here's a little sneak peek. I got those partially cut most of the way. I had to because my tires were too fat. So now when I pull those out, I'll trim them the rest of the way. These two are rough up because the backs were really, really bad, so I'm going to have to sand a bunch on those ones. I think it's going to look sick. It's going to be a lot more red when it's done. It's going to be pretty rust colored, I think. Not like my pink chair, but it should be, I'm guessing, fairly close to our porch color there. Can't remember what it's called, like mahogany something or other. But then I'm going to go grab the table saw out of the shed, and I think I'm going to do like a quarter relief on this. Try to get those rails to set down in there really nice when I put it together. But I'm kind of nervous about that because they're just all sitting here, and I don't want to do too big of a relief. So I'm considering waiting and doing it as I go, and then I can stain it, put them on. I'm not really sure. I might do it now. I might just wing it, but it's just got to be good enough for Clyde. But this is what I'm using. Mahogany Flame. Australian timber oil. Supposed to be really good stuff for this kind of stuff, so we'll see. And these, I haven't told you guys about yet, are my ideal for tail lights. They're little smoked LED strips. Like so. Plan for those, I'm thinking, is set them right there, and the wire goes out through the back, so I'll plop it through that stake pocket, go down, wire it in. I'm thinking that would look legit. Either that or down here, sideways, on that pan. But if I do them down there, I'm probably going to do 2 rows. I think that would look really cool, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see. Alright, here's what I decided. This is what I did with the table saw here. The idea was this would sit down in that, which would look sweet and clean, be pretty low and flush-ish. But that's the thing, is it's still not going to be flat, so it's kind of just a waste of time. So I'm almost thinking I'm just gonna clamp them down and send them, but I just don't like how much this sticks up. The trouble is, I don't know, I'm near sure these aren't all going to be the same, not even close. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. But doing cuts like that, anyone that's ever done that with a table saw sucks. It's a pain in the butt, especially by yourself. So I just don't know. It's a lot of work to really essentially accomplish nothing, because the bed's still not going to be flat. It's going to be bumpy no matter what I do. even if I set it down to where this was completely flush to the wood, then it's still going to be dipped. And by the time I do that, that's 3/8 of an inch. These are 3/4 inch boards, and I only have 3/8 of my board there, so it's going to be weak. So I'm kind of thinking that I'm just going to send them like this, and the bolts should squish that down into the wood to clean this up back here a little bit. I mean, we've got maybe, I mean, it's not sitting flat right here, but maybe a 1/2 inch. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. All right. Settled it. My inner perfectionist came out. It always does when I'm doing things with wood. Right there, I'm about an 1/8 high. So I figure when I get the bolt in there now, it'll give it a good squish down. What I ended up doing was a 7/16 this way, sideways, and then a 1/4 deep still. I'm thinking about going to 3/8, but I really think that will squish down with the bolt. I don't want it to be lower. I would rather it be flush or a little high, I guess. So I think I'm gonna stick with that. It's a pain in the ass though, because you gotta do it one way, 1/4 deep, then you gotta move the saw, do it the other way. Now that I got these two dialed, I'm gonna do them all the way I have the saw set, and then I'll send them all back through the other way, and then hope that it works. I got these set and it should work, and I'm gonna like do a little confirming here, make sure I don't have to rip these couple boards down a little smaller. I don't know. This one's not sitting exactly where it's supposed to be. There's a gap back here. There's a chunk of wood stuck back there from the old stuff, I think. All right, guys, here's where we're at. Dusty as hell in here. Here's how they're looking. I hit them all real good with 60 grit, especially these. This one was one of the ones that was the wire brushed ones, and I think this one was. You can kind of see it in that one. I couldn't get rid of it, but it might give it some character. Who knows? They're looking good. Hit them with 60 real good, and then I kind of just lightly, quickly hit them with 120, I think it was. That's all I had. But it don't need to be baby's butt smooth anyways. Just want them to take stain kind of even, but that's why I wanted cedar. Look how pretty that stuff is. So now I'm going to throw some color on them, and we'll see how it looks. Hopefully it's not too dark. Guys, the color turned out pretty much exactly like I hoped it would. I think it's going to look super duper good. It's, there we go. It's kind of orangey, kind of rusty, but I think that's going to look good. I mean, look at that character. Some good looking boards. I'm not sure. I need to read the can and see if I need a second coat or not, but really like that color. It really turned out good. Either way, I gotta let them dry, and then I gotta flip them over and do the backs. I'm just gonna slop some on the back because, you know, it's gonna get exposed to yucky. So that's where we're at. Oh, I also forgot to tell you guys, to make it easier to put these side ones in, because they were a bugger to get in, I put a little 10-degree bevel on them because it's really tight in here, front and back. That side was way worse. This side was still bad, but so now they pretty much just pop right in. And then my plan is to just get them all in place and probably get all the dividers in. And then I'm just gonna go along and drill all those holes along the sides. And then I'll probably, hopefully I can go up from underneath and drill the 8 box holes up through the boards. It's probably going to take a pretty long drill bit, but I'll figure that out when I get there. Alright guys, the window delivery got canceled due to weather, so we're working on Clyde. Got this death trap set up. Yep. This is the safest option I came up with. First I had these cross member to here, and it was very sketchy. There's no good way to pick this bed up because it doesn't really have like stake pockets. I mean, they're obviously there, but there's nothing in there to grab. So here's what we got. We're gonna throw the wood in so I can get all that crap out of my way. I spent $100 on bolts. So we're gonna toss some wood in here. Brake lines came in the mail yesterday. They're on the hood. Carb's on, it's running, you guys saw that. Look at the moots. Yeah, so we're gonna do that. Then I'm probably gonna leave the box off for a while and get the C-notch done. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna do. Still don't know. Maybe like 3 inches, but that's a lot. But I'm using 3/8 plate to build it, so I'm not too worried. It's gonna be stronger than the whole frame. So we're not gonna worry about that right now. We're gonna get some wood in. All right, I was gonna wait. I just can't. Look at this. Doesn't that look so good? 2 more boards to put in, 1 million more bolts. And then I got those 3 cross members to stick in underneath. Drill a few holes. And I don't know what I'm gonna do next. All right, fam, here's the deal. Table saw's back out. Trying to get the last board in, and it's just a big 1/8 from fitting, which I half expected because when I set this all up to work, I was like, it all had to be tits nuts perfect for it to work out. And it's wood, it's crooked. It's a rusty old box, it's crooked. So I gotta trim one down and then we'll be done. When I'm done, you'll never even know. All right, here's the deal. She's done, son. Got all the holes drilled. Touch them up better once I got it on the ground and I can get in there. Not on the ground, I guess, on the truck, but looks pretty legit. Pretty dang happy with the way it turned out. Let's 0.5 it. Yeah, look at that. That's freaking awesome. So got that done. I touched up all the stuff that needed touched up under there. Got to get some bolts for this. Got to get this thing all cleaned up, a little bit sanding, and then we will be putting on clear. I have to C-notch this. I just put on the new brake lines. They came yesterday from Fine Lines. They're stainless steel. They were $50 shipped. They were very close, so I tweaked them a little. They worked out perfect. Didn't even have to fight them very much. I had to vice grip this one, and that was it. But I got to finish sanding on the cab. I did this fender, or most of it anyways, last night. It's pretty well there. Got a tiny bit to do here. And with that dent, kind of clean that up. But the rest of it is dialed. Got to do the doors, obviously. Hood's pretty much there. This fender's done, and it looks phenomenal. Top of that door's done. Got to do the bottom. Clean up that cowl. Probably touch the bumpers a little bit. Bumper and grill, I mean. I'm going to clear all that, I think. And then I'm going to paint this frame after I do the C-notch, because I hate that it's got that gray on it. It's really bugging me. And then I'm really going to really wash this thing, get it real cleaned up before I clear it, obviously. Because these wheels are actually like brand new, even though they don't look it. But the new shocks, new brake lines, got the tack in, got the new carb on. We're pretty much dialed. Gotta get the box on. There's a bunch of little stuff to do. But if you just don't think about that, you're pretty much ready to go. So hopefully you guys will drop me subscribe. Hopefully you're digging the Clyde videos, because I'm already thinking about what I'm going to do after this. Hopefully I can talk Summer into something that I can build for her. That would be pretty fun. But she's got a fancy brand new pickup, so she probably doesn't want an old piece of shit like I do. But anyways, drop me subscribe. Really appreciate it. And catch you on the flip side.